Good afternoon, day 3. So I'm keeping this up and I'm going to try to keep going as long as I can.
So I am Phil Brilliant. I am president of Brilliant Environmental Services, owner of Brilliant Environmental Services, located in Jackson, New Jersey. And a couple people have asked me already, why am I doing this? And, why am I posting a podcast and who the heck am I to do one? And I don't have an answer for you. There's really no good answer, except for the fact that during this recent program I did, Marion Chamberlain said you should really do a podcast and get videos out there so people know what you do, what you did, who you are, and how you ended up in the position you are today. So yes, I talk with my hands. So let's talk about a few things today. First of all, this working from home, this home office situation, I could really get used to it. So first of all, I don't have to put a tie on, and I'm not a tie person anyway, but usually I'll wear a button-down shirt, or I'm business casual most of the time, but really this is kind of like an upgrade from pajamas. That's about all it is. I won't show you my pants, but they have little dogs on them. This is real comfy cozy, and to take conference calls and to do business and to emails. I mean, technology today, could you imagine if this was the 1980s and we were doing this? What's happening with the economy right now, the economy would shut. Nobody would be working. We'd be fighting tooth and nail to get out of our houses because business could not go on as usual. I'm happy to say at Brilliant Environmental Services, everybody is working remotely. All their computers are set up. We are able to provide proposals to clients. We're getting final reports out. Staff has been unbelievable to be able to balance what they need to do for work as well as home. And I keep saying this to them. This is a different world. It's not going to be business 8 to 5. You have to find out what works best for you. And I think that's really the biggest thing now is I've got calls last night for clients at 9 o'clock at night and other people that I deal with. But I always take calls 24 hours a day. For anybody who knows me knows I do that. But we have to remember that. I mean, people who have kids at home, have dogs at home, have parents at home, whatever it might be, you have some obligations there while you're home. You can't completely ignore them. I, on the other hand, just have Leonard here at home, and this dog, he just moved. This dog sleeps all day. And he sleeps all night. So I'm not quite sure, I need to get him outside and run him a little. And actually, I should run him a little. But I will tell you, and I don't have an answer, I have lost 7 pounds since Friday. I don't feel bad, so I'm hoping it's not health-based. But I think it's really, I just locked myself in this room and I'm just working between everything I have to do. The other thing, too, is seeing some stuff on social media today and thinking about it myself. So I have hair. There was a time I didn't have hair. I always used to get crew cuts. I thought that was the easiest thing. You take a shower, you get out of the shower, your hair's dry. It was just easy to take care of. You never had to take care of it. You just maintained it. I would wash my face, wash my hair, and I'd be done. I'll be out of there. But now I have hair because Debbie, my girlfriend, told me that I'm not a state trooper and I'm not in the military, so I should have hair. And at the same time, as long as I could grow it, I should grow it. And so every time I go for a haircut, I ask, is it thinning in the back or anything like that? Because I'm not going to be this male pattern baldness person. When I get like a circle in the middle of my head, it comes off. I'm going to be Michael Jordan, and hopefully I got the head to prove it. And we'll see how well that goes. But it is getting very gray. And I'm not somebody who would ever dye his hair, as you can tell by my beard. But as time goes on, and we are kind of hair salons and all the barbers are closed, we're going to all have really long hair. And we're going to be gray. It is going to be a graying society. It'll be interesting to see how well that goes. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to do some home care on some people and put some hair coloring in. But business-wise, I want to talk a little about so that I can start laying the basis of what Brilliant Environmental Services is and where we came from. So I have a degree from Cook College, or formerly known as Cook College at Rutgers University. when I went to Rutgers and went to Cook, there were all these different colleges within the great University of Rutgers. And there was Cook College, Douglas College, School of Engineering, there was Rutgers College, there was University College, which was at night, all these different schools. And Cook College was a school of agriculture and environmental science. And, you know, I'll tell you the funny story that when I applied to go to college, my mom worked at Rutgers, my mom went to Rutgers. My sister went to Rutgers, and if you had somebody who went to Rutgers, who worked at Rutgers, you got free tuition. So my choices for school were Rutgers, Rutgers, or Rutgers. So I applied to Rutgers, and in those days, I don't know if you still do it, you applied to 3 different schools, colleges within Rutgers. So I applied for Rutgers College, I applied for Cook College, and Livingston College, thinking that I would get into one of the 3. I wanted to go to Rutgers College because I wanted to study political science. I was going to law school. That was my goal. Well, lo and behold, I got accepted to Cook College, I got accepted to Livingston College, and I got waitlisted at Rutgers College. That's fine. You know, my life may have been a little different or very different, but the funny part of that story is fast forward 30 years or whatever, I guess, no, it was like 25 years or 23 years after my mom passed away in 2005, my sister and I were cleaning out of the house, and I found the envelope, which was the acceptance letter. And I opened it up inside, and I read the letter. Congratulations, you've been accepted to Rutgers College, you've been accepted to Livingston College, Cook College, and waitlisted at Rutgers College. Please return the enclosed postcard if you'd like to be included on the wait list. Lo and behold, the postcard was still in the envelope. So I never heard from the wait list because I never returned that postcard. And it was funny that my mom saved that, and I got to see that many years later. But I went to Cook College. I had a fantastic time in college, probably too good of a time. A lot of those stories can't be told to the public, but I graduated, and that's what matters. I have a degree in international environmental science, actually studies, and it's a BS. And when I was graduating school, there was a freeze on hiring in the state of New Jersey. Otherwise, I probably would have ended up at the DEP. So I looked, and I started looking to see what I wanted to do. And I was not going to the Peace Corps. A lot of the people graduating were going to the Peace Corps. I could have gone to law school, but I was tired of school at that time. So I decided I needed some time off, and happened to meet a gentleman who owned a environmental consulting firm called Groundwater Environmental Services, and he had just opened an office in New Jersey because he had an office in Pennsylvania, and they had started in 1985, and this was 1988. And he said, "Hey, you want to come work with me part-time? Because I don't have any employees." And I said, "Sure." And I never applied for another job. I started in December of 1988 on a part-time basis. And really, I worked full-time. I worked more there than I did on my coursework at Rutgers. When I graduated college, a day later, I started full-time at Groundwater Environmental Services. I was the first employee in New Jersey. I was the 21st employee overall. And when I left in 1993, I was one of over 200 employees. I think there were in 7 or 9 offices on the East Coast. And really, my opportunity for growth was outside of New Jersey. I wasn't going to be the general manager of that office, and so I started looking for other opportunities. And through that, I met an individual by the name of Bob Ramo, and we sat down and we talked at Fuddruckers in Toms River, and he was looking for somebody to diversify the company and do like underground storage tank work, industrial operations, and that was what I did. And when I was at GES, I did permit administration, I did marketing, I dealt with client relations, I did a little bit of everything, but really the regulatory aspect and the client relationships was my biggest. So it was a good move for me in 1993 when I joined Environmental Evaluation Group, which was a small 5-person firm in Toms River, a small office in Cape May Courthouse, which basically at the time had just done land use work, CAFRA, coastal development, wetlands delineation, stream encroachment, any type of regulatory permit the staff did there. And I came in, years later, and to the early 2000s, we were looking at partners that we were buying out. Unfortunately, Bob had contracted MS and was basically moving out of the company, and I decided at the time that I was going to merge the company. And so I merged it into a company called Taylor Wiseman Taylor, which had 9 offices on the East Coast, was doing about $35 million a year. And Bob, myself, Dave Roth, and other guys at Environmental Evaluation Group have built this, built this company up to 45 individuals. We were doing about $7 million in sales at the time in 2003. And, did the merger in the end of 2003 into 2004, bought out all of the partners, and became Taylor Wiseman Taylor. And I became the number 3 shareholder in the firm. It was a great move for me. I thought this was going to really help us to grow. And, long story short, I realized what we do in the world of site remediation and environmental is we think out of the box. There are no black and white answers to what we do. If we have a site that has contamination on it, we need to determine where the contamination come from. How deep is it? Is it soil? Is it groundwater? Is it sediment? How far has it gone? We do wells, we do soil sampling, and we piece all this together in what we call a conceptual site model. Every site's different. There could be 2 gas stations right next door to each other. Every site's different. Where did the leak occur? Engineering, surveying, is more of an exact science, more of a detailed, more of calculated. So the two kind of conflicted a little. And even though 2004 we started this as a merger as one company, in 2005, by the end of it I was moving on, and so left Taylor Wiseman Taylor in 2005, less than 18 months later, and took with me a partner, Zach Lewis, and we started Brilliant Lewis Environmental Services on January 1st, 2006. I'm going to stop there because this is already too long. I'm trying to keep these short. We'll have continuation on our next one, and you'll get to learn a little bit more about me and about what I do as an environmental scientist and what Brilliant Environmental Services does. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.